Welcome to the 2026 Viking Event. If you've played one of the events with the spinning wheel minigame before, you already know that the first thing you want to do after the tutorial is complete is to stop the wheel from spinning by checking the skip animation box at the top right of the minigame. This is essential if you want to maximize your chances at getting the best rewards. Speaking of which, the main event building is the Valkyrie Sanctum, offering population, happiness, forge points, and attacking army boosts. If you played the 2025 Halloween event, it is very similar to the Balloon Grand Gala, with the differences being the Sanctum having more population and coins, but worse army boosts per tile. The Sanctum does produce much better side buildings than the Grand Gala, however. Mimir Spring and Frecky's Lair offer army boosts for the guild battlegrounds as well as some resources, and when ascended, those army boosts become very powerful with quantum incursions bonuses and army boosts added on top. This event introduces an interesting building in the Dreki Totem. At its base level, it offers some modest army boosts and productions, but notably has a room for your historical allies. This is the easiest to get many of and smallest building giving ally rooms outside of the Timeless Junction, but that's not all. You can ascend the Dreki Totem to get stronger army boosts and productions, but also forge points and goods boosts. Importantly, the 2% boosts are only in Space Age Space Hub, the rest of the ages have only the 1%. This makes the Dreki Totem an interesting target for certain players. An ascended Dreki Totem also happens to be the reward for this video's giveaway. This video was produced in collaboration with InnoGames, so head to the link in the description to enter the giveaway. It ends 2 weeks after this video goes live and is closed to players on the Brazilian or Italian servers. Back to the new buildings, another interesting building is the Fjordstorm Harbor. It's the main building from the 2025 Viking event, and it's given some stronger defense boosts and productions, as well as not needing a road connection with its platinum upgrade. When you then ascend the Fjordstorm Harbor, it gets stronger army boosts, quantum actions and actions capacity, and stronger productions. To keep a Fjordstorm Harbor ascended, you need the Hugentail Hut, specifically 2 level 2 huts. These require some population, but to give you army boosts for the battlegrounds, forge points, finished special production items, and 6 fragments of those Fjordstorm Harbor upgrades. You need 12 of those fragments each day to sustain a harbor, hence the 2 huts being required. To get any of the rewards, you need to play the minigame. This one gives you a wheel of 9 different rewards. One of these is gold, 3 are silver, and 5 are green. The gold reward can be won only once, the silver twice, and the green 4 times until the wheel is refreshed. Here are all the possible rewards, starting at the gold ring's position and moving counterclockwise. The gold ring gives either the base Dreki Totem, a 1-down kit, or a handful of Munin coins, which can be used in the event's shop. Note that the 1-down kit has been quite rare until recently, so this can be a great way to stock up. The first silver ring can also give Munin coins, but you'll also see the level 1 Berserker's Aim building, which is from the previous Viking event. The first green ring offers army boosts for the incursions, expeditions, and battlegrounds. The second silver ring gives some very good items, including the base building for the Orcrest Mill from last year's event, fragments of upgrades for the Fjordstorm Harbor and some of its new platinum upgrade as well, ascended kits for last year's side buildings, and 4 of the event currency. The second green ring gives you just coins or supplies, the third gives 4 of a unit, and the fourth gives some forge points. The third silver ring gives a variety of different consumables. And lastly, the fifth green ring gives some goods. You can either throw axes or refresh all the rewards on the wheel and throw an axe to receive a reward. You're also able to choose the amount of axes to throw at once, either 1, 3, or 5, each of which offers a different amount of progress per throw. This chart summarizes those 3 options with some other relevant info, but we'll talk more about this later in the strategies. The Wheel of Rewards is shared among your whole neighborhood, meaning they can refresh the wheel or snag the prizes you want if you're not quick enough. There's an additional layer of rewards, if you will, which are the Jerry coins. These are a second currency for the event shop. The gold ring will always award 3, the silver ring above it has a 50% chance of having 2, and the green ring below has a 50% chance of having 1 coin. Notably, these coins can only be won once for each ring. If the Jerry coins were on the green ring and someone landed on it, no one else can get those coins until the wheel is refreshed. For every Jerry coin you receive, you get 1 extra progress. This is a big deal as it makes the gold ring give an extra 3 progress every time you land on it. The last important component of the minigame would be the tasks. You get 6 of these each day, with 2 each of easy, medium, and hard. The easy and medium tasks reward 1 Munin coin each, while the hard tasks reward 2. Once you complete any 3 of these tasks, the rewards double, so it'll be 2, 2, and 4 coins. There are a variety of task conditions, with these being the ones for each difficulty. They're fairly straightforward, but can get quite expensive, so you will not be wanting or be able to complete all of these each day. Regardless, as you complete tasks, you can get some Munin coins that you can then spend in the shop. In this event, we only have 1 shop, but there are 2 currencies. The strongest items can only be purchased with your Jerry coins, which include the Hugin Hut and upgrades, of which you need 2 level 2s if you want to keep your Fjordstorm Harbor ascended. The Dreki Totem ascended upgrades, note that this is the only source of them, and I doubt they will be offered in future events. If you want these, get as many upgrades as you want during this event. The Jacker Pyre is available, but it is insanely expensive for what it provides, so I would avoid it. You then have fragments of the various upgrades for the Fjordstorm Harbor, but as these are also available from the second silver ring, I would try to get them from the wheel first before spending Jerry coins on them. And lastly, there is the Platinum upgrade for the Orecrest Mill. For Munin coins, you can get the base selection kits for the Fjordstorm Harbor, of which you need 9 to complete the building if you don't already have it. You get the 10th required kit from the grand prizes. There's the Berserker's aim kits, but ignore those. The Orecrest Fjord is fairly good for attack boost for the quantum incursions. You can get the base side buildings from the previous Viking event, including the elusive Emberfang Totem. Then there's a bunch of ascended upgrades and allies from prior events that you may find useful. Then there's the Epic 2026 Viking kit, which has a lot of stuff in it. Importantly, for those looking for Emberfang Totems, it costs the same as the other kit, meaning that you have 2 chances for a discount to land on something with Emberfang Totems. Then there are the standard Ascended 2025 kits, consumables, and forge points to round out the shop. There are a total of 5 discounts randomly applied to items in the shop, 4 20% and 1 40%. When the shop is refreshed, these discounts are shuffled among the items. The shop refreshes once per day for free, but you can also manually refresh the shop for free, then 5 Munin coins, and the cost quintuples from there. I would recommend using the free reset each day to try and help land the discounts on the items you want. To get the coins for the shop, or any other rewards you want, you are going to have to throw some axes and spend your fate amulets. In total, you get roughly 500 or so amulets across the event, including some incidents. It's especially important that you complete the daily challenge every day, as it provides a fairly large portion of the amulets you can get. The progress goals you'll be aiming to reach are as follows: 690 for the completed main event building, 720 for the Fjordstorm Harbor's Platinum upgrade, and 750 for 1000 fragments of the Eternal Market selection kit. If you're wondering about the allies, those are actually completed very early on in the grand prizes, only 60 and 180 progress, so you would have to work hard not to get them. In terms of general strategy, if you are really strapped for time, just refreshing and throwing with 3 axes would get you to 690 progress on average, which is enough for the main event building. However, you can do much better. Since the wheel is shared among your neighborhood, you can try to wait until your neighbors refresh the wheel for you. This way you are able to wait until there are the rewards you want to win on the wheel. If you want progress, this is when you see the Jerry coins on the gold ring and one of the other 2 possible places, or if the Jerry coins are still around when some of the other rewards have been won. This increases your odds of getting the Jerry coins and therefore more progress. The same principle also applies to any other rewards you may want, which may include the Dreki Totem, 1 down kits, Fjordstorm Harbor upgrade fragments, or Crest Mill, or even just Munin coins to buy whatever you want in the shop. If you have the time and the patience, waiting for someone else to spend Fate Amulets to find wheels with these rewards saves you a lot of event currency and gets you way more rewards. However, you do run the risk that someone might just get that reward before you. With a total of 500 amulets, you can spend an average of about 24 amulets per day, but do not try to force that if there aren't the rewards you want. You will need to throw your axes somewhat regularly, as you want to spread out the spending of your coins in the shop due to the expensive refresh costs, but there's no need to throw axes every single day at the event. It's completely fine to go days without throwing any axes at all. Just don't stockpile everything for the last day, and you should be okay. For the tasks in this minigame, they only provide Munin coins. There is no progress benefit for completing them. As such, I tend to not go too far out of my way to complete them. If I see I need to throw with one axe and I'm planning to throw to get a reward I want on the wheel anyways, I'll use one axe. However, I wouldn't go out of my way to spend a bunch of my fate amulets chasing the task asking me to throw 5 axes twice if there are no rewards that I want currently on the wheel. In other words, complete them if you can conveniently and cheaply do so. If you're planning on spending in this event, it's fairly straightforward. Fate amulets are a little expensive at 60 diamonds per amulet or 120 diamonds per axe, but the overall strategy is mostly the same. Try to wait for someone else to refresh the wheel, then throw 3 axes at a time to try to win the rewards you want. Now, if you want a large enough quantity of rewards that you can't wait for someone else to refresh the wheel, only refresh and throw with 1 axe at a time. No sense in wasting more axes than needed on wheels with rewards that you don't care about. Also, a word of warning to spread out any spending you want to do across the entire event. The refresh costs in the shop skyrocket, quintupling in price with each subsequent refresh each day. Don't wait until the end of the event to buy a bunch of fate amulets, as you'll waste many of your mutant coins on the refreshes instead of on rewards that you actually want. And that about wraps up everything that you need to know about the event. I'll have the standard event resources linked on my website, which can be found in the description. There you'll also find a link to join my Discord server where you can chat with your fellow players and share strategies for the game. It's a fun place, come join us. Good luck with the event, and as always, I'll see you all next time.